अस्सलामुअलैकुम। आप करंट अफेयर चैनल देख रहे हैं, तो हम स्टार्ट करते हैं पेडागोजी का दूसरा पार्ट। तो स्टार्ट करते हैं। साइकोलॉजी इज़ ए सोशल साइंस। टुडे साइकोलॉजी इज़ ए साइंटिफिक स्टडी ऑफ ह्यूमन एंड एनिमल बिहेवियर। तो सेकंड पार्ट जो है वो तमाम ही ना साइकोलॉजी के रिलेटेड ही है। तो फर्स्ट पार्ट में जनरल पेडागोजी थी। According to J.B. Watson, psychology is a science of behavior, a systematic study of facts. According to reliable and correct method of study is called a scientific study. The early definition of psychology was study of soul. Psychology as a science of mind defined by ancient Greek philosopher school of psychology. In the year option C 1879, the scientific psychology was first time accepted. For the first time, the world psychology is introduced by Rudolf Joeckel. Rudolf Joeckel used the word psychology for the first time in the year of 1590 AD. Who is the father of experimental psychology? Option A, Wilhelm Wundt. Who established the first psychology laboratory at the University of Leipzig in Germany? Wilhelm Wundt. J.B. Watson, the founder and father of the behavioristic school of psychology, defined as the psychology science of behavior. Behavior of organisms are always dynamic. Psychology is the science studying the behavior of living organisms. Option B. E.B. Teichner defined psychology as the science of conscious experience. Who defined the psychology as the scientific study of activities of organism in relation to its environment? Option C, Woodworth. Who defined psychology as the science of immediate experience with conscious being, the main subject matter? Is described by Wilhelm Wundt. General psychology deals with the fundamentals of all branches of psychology. Physiological psychology is the branch of psychology describes and explains the biological and physiological basis of behavior. Study abnormal psychology means to study mainly the nature of unconscious level of mind. Normal psychology is concerned with abnormal behavior and its causes. Which branch of psychology deals with the study of animal behavior? Is comparative psychology. To deal with preschool child with major temper tantrums, a parent can seek advice from educational psychologist. Social psychology deals with the behavior and experience in social situations. Which perspective psychology emphasizes the overt behavior of the individual? Is behavioristic perspective. Educational psychology is an applied branch of psychology. Industrial psychology is applied psychology. So option B is correct. Which psychologist who constructed the first intelligence test? Is Alfred Binet. Educational psychology revolves around the three areas: the learner, the learning process, and the learning situations. Who defined educational psychology? Is the science of education. Option A, Peel. Who defined the educational psychology? Is that branch of psychology which deals with the teaching and learning? Is Skinner. Educational psychology is most concerned with what is happening in the present. Option C. Who is known as the father of educational psychology? Option C, Pestalozzi. Educational psychology deals with the problems of learning and teaching. Educational psychology is concerned with the option C, all of these: learning process, learning and learning situation. Educational psychology normally work with collaboratively with teacher and parents. According to psychology, all education is self-education. Option D is correct. Educational psychology studies the behavior of the learner in relation to his and her educational environment. Who is the father of experimental psychology is want option C. Where the first experimental psychology laboratory set up in Leipzig, option D is correct. Who is the first woman awarded PhD in psychology? Option C, Margaret Floy. The concept of psychology come into teaching and the first psychology course offered by William James. Option D. Which method has made educational psychology a science? Option A, experimental method. The oldest method in psychology is option B, introspection. Introspection as a method stands rejected by behaviorists. Option D. Educational psychology is concerned with all of these: the learner, the learning process, the learning situation. In an experiment method, there are variables, all of these independent, dependent, and organismic. The first step in conducting an experiment is to formulate hypotheses. The first book of psychology was written by William James. First book of psychology titled Prince Psychology was published in 1895. In observational method of study, the psychology, passive study and analysis of human behavior is usually done. Which of the following is primary concern to the educational psychologist? Option D. The discovery of teaching procedure of maximum effectiveness. Primary task of teacher is to stimulate and guide student learning. Which method of research contribute most to the advance of educational psychology as a science? Experimental method. Experimental method has many designs such as all of these: single group, control group, rotation group. The basic foundations of physical, mental and personality development are laid in the period of childhood. The independent variable is defined as the factor which is manipulated. The dependent variable is the factor which varies or changes as a result of manipulating the independent variable. पेडागोजी में साइकोलॉजी को हमने कवर कर लिया है। मज़ीद पार्ट्स के लिए जो है वो हमारा चैनल सब्सक्राइब करें और बेल आइकॉन को प्रेस करें। तो मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट वीडियो के साथ। थैंक यू सो मच।